you know what else looked pretty darn good? Bit of Blake 7. Let us carry on with our Blake 7 rewatch. Which, yeah, let's go over here, doink. Blake 7 rewatch, which was season 4, but then got derailed by season 1 coming out on Blu-ray, which that Blu-ray is fabulous, right? I've been like kind of bummed. I've had to take a break from watching it. Fine, so we're only up to episode 3. I'm amazed, which is Cygnus Alpha. I really should have done. Here, 1 second, doink. I really should have done. What was I going to say? The first 3 episodes in one go, because they do kind of form together into one very weird, very late 70s style narrative, very dark narrative, right? Generally speaking, the new effects I found to be absolutely excellent, right? Let me wind that back a tiny bit because I want to show you the again, the subtle new touch. Like this is the new Liberator they put on the titles, and I never liked, that it was clearly just a paper cutout. They were zooming the camera in and out of. Now, yeah, this just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. So, if you've never seen Blake 7, spoiler warning. This is what, 78? How many years ago is it? It's 46 years ago. 46 years, so spoiler warning. I'm terribly sorry. We had the first episode, which introduced that you're in a totalitarian world, but everybody in there didn't really know. Right? Again, it's like, the gaslighting reality that they lived in, which is very similar to the ones we live in now. Right? And Blake was a former dissident or a rabble raiser or something, and then he was framed for he had his mind erased, and then when he got called back into it, he was then framed for as a child molester, which is very dark, right? And eventually sent off to a penal colony. But that first episode has some really interesting twists and turns. I love this little story about his public defender, right, who was oft quite unceremoniously towards them with his wife, right, which I thought was a bit dark as well. Second episode, they're on their way to Cygnus Alpha, their penal colony, and they come across the Liberator, and again, the way they build that up is like we're used to there being a much more brevity in storytelling, which you can feel that Terry Nathan was really enjoying having the breadth to tell a much more in-depth story. Right, so Blake, Avon, and Jenna. Oh my God, Sally Kinvet looks so hot in these episodes. End up on the Liberator while everybody else heads on to Cygnus Alpha, the penal colony, right? And you haven't even thought about it, but now we get to find out what that penal colony is. And Cygnus Alpha. But I love that he wrote this whole season. And it's a bit grim, right? It's a bit grim. There's weird religion built around it, and you get the feeling the religion is somewhat insincere. So they see like there's a new shuttle coming down. This is the last you see of the people of the London. And they have a bit of a recap because it was 1978 and nobody had videos back then. Meanwhile, Blake is on the Liberator, and they're working out how to fly it. They're working out what it is. They introduced the guns. They're like, ooh, this is kind of cool. There's a lot of working out how the Liberator works. In this episode. And again, I like it that it's got room to breathe. Right, it really has room to breathe the story. And again, I love the Liberator design at the time. This is actually a little brilliant piece of writing. Was this bit where Jenna unintentionally intersects with the Liberator, and she gets completely known, right? Which feels like innocence. It's a really interesting idea. like to have none of your barriers up anymore. Most people find that like horrific, and she does it first, right? But then afterwards, it's like very, very peaceful, right? Very, very peaceful, very restful, which is essentially the idea of one of the Kabbalistic ideas of the afterlife, which is everybody sees every aspect of your life, right? That which is what you're kind of judged on, and you can edit it and change it by repenting, right? By regretting making mistakes on a genuine level. So anyway, I think this is what was that? Oh yes, Jenna putting on an expression that I think she probably generated on my face more than once back in the day. So that's where Zen arrives from merging with Callie. Yeah, so then we got Pamela Salem looking very hot as a religious fanatic on Cygnus Alpha. And look, we're like 10 minutes into the episode, and but they're still like getting arriving. So again, they're working out what the teleport is. And we do get a nice new teleport effect. Man, Michael Keaton looks so young here, right? And the other guy is I remember mainly from Minder. He was the other detective other than Chisholm, or maybe he was Chisholm. No, he was one other than Chisholm, right? And they so again, quite nice new effects. The London takes off as fast as humanly possible, never to be seen again, right? And so they're going out and seeing this. And again, their exile is, oh yeah, it's just sod off. We're not giving any buildings or food or anything. If you survive, you survive. If you don't, you don't. Right? Which again seems kind of like how the Federation would go about these things. Right. So eventually they meet the after a very graphic warning. Again, the whole thing is achingly saying we're not Doctor Who and this is not for kids, which kind of fun. So fine, they finally get they try out the teleport, and we get the new teleport effect, which is I find very respectful to the original. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, so I think look, I am not a person who really minded the reinvention of the Klingons. I think the Klingons from in later Star Trek would look like how they would have been able to do them in the 60s if they were able to do them. Same with this, right? I found this was a really really good reinvention, especially with the white line around it, right? I thought that was really good. So Blake turns up, he meets the religious fanatics and gets into a reasonably lengthy fight until he's about to be killed, and they just bring him back in 15 minutes or so.
Time's up. Keep it pressed down.
I am keeping it pressed down.
I mean, they hadn't worked out how to just say, Liberator, bring me back up. So yeah, so they checked out the land, and they bought the they're getting the prisoners into their group, and to get them on side, Pamela Salem gives Gan a good slop. Right now, if this was made today, it'll be two blokes obviously kissing. Yeah, okay, whatever you want, darling. I'm on board. So they need a crew, so they're going to get the people through on Cygnus Alpha, who are a bit not abbreviated, been abandoned there. And again, you get these nice little bits of world building with like the ancient gun there, and like how this society came about in shorthand. But again, this is just good, solid space drama with Pamela Salem and Gordon's alive. It's Rusty was on the One Show at 7 p.m. I guess we'll talk about that on Thursday, right? This is really one of the better roles for Brian Blessed, right? And also, this is one where when Brian Blessed went off and married Perry, I never bought that. I totally got that Pamela Salem and Brian Blessed were banging each other in this, right? So they everybody gets sick, and they give them the special medicine to keep them alive while Blake goes and investigates. And he said, and the gang says, "No, we can't leave. We're going to need this medicine for the rest of our lives, or we'll die." Right? So he's like, maybe we can get a copy of it. We can duplicate it. Meanwhile, Jenna finds more clothes, and boy, does she look good in all of them. Right? She looks very, very good in pretty much everything. So then, when they meet, when you finally get this good showdown, and the showdown really works because Blind Breasted and Gareth Thomas really can go toe to toe with each other, right? And I think that's something that you again don't get that often these days. And so Brian Blessed wants to leave Cygnus Alpha like everybody else does, and still the Liberator. And again, this scene is really it's just good writing. It's not just good writing. This is the BBC when we love the BBC, when it can make really great entertainment out of without massive budgets, right? I mean, as the tiny budget for this indicates, right? But yeah, man, both of them chewing up the scene. So it all goes along to the point where we have a bit of a they find a room with a ton of money in the Liberator, right? So he was like, "Why don't we just ditch them and go? We have time. We're rich and the best ship ever. We could just ditch them and go." And Jenna's like, "Yeah, not so much." Fine. So this all kind of like gets down to a head where they have some like fisticuffs at the end. And it's actually quite a good fight, and everybody's like scrambling to get the communicator bracelets, right? Oh, they got to sacrifice Gav for some plot reason, I don't know. But everybody's scrambling to get the communication bracelet so they can be rescued. Oh, Pamela Salem goes down, and not in the good way. Oh! Yeah, it all kicks off. And you see like people who are nearly part of the crew just not manage to get a bracelet on in time, right? Sadly enough. And then they this is a very, very poorly shot, right? Because it seems like there are two teleport bases in this. So they bring Brian Blessed up, and they convince him to walk onto the transporter pad, right? And it's really a great little dance.
No! I was their priest! I shall return to them at dawn!
Yeah, I mean, a great little denouement, right? Just works great. And so fine, we finally got. So by the time the episode finishes, we finish with the 3-part setup, and you know we know what the series is. And the series again is just so ahead of its time, incredibly ahead of its time. Space opera gorgeousness, right? That's how I would describe it. So then let's go on to Time Squad, which is a terrible title. Let's be fair to, and we really are into like weekly weekly adventures in outer space in a very dark universe, right? And Servalan and Tarrant have not been introduced yet, and we're 4 episodes in, so I'm not sure what they're doing right now. They're just kind of flying around, learning to use Liberator, right? And even the new view screen they have is quite good. Here we go. Hang on, because it's got that little pyramid thing, right? And it looks like it's generating the image. So off they go, and then they find some target, and then they find there's this capsule in space that they have to bring on board. That is this. Here we go. And people have been in there in frozen animation for years and years and years. First they teleport on there, and it's this tiny thing, and they're trying to work out what it is. And again, this is really just good storytelling, right? Does he teleport into the Space 99 universe? I'm afraid not. I think only his agent could do that. So they arrive there and find these people in suspended animation, and their air's running out. They're trying to get brought back, and they can't be brought back. And so there's quite a good little scene where they have to dock with the shuttle.
Shooting. Left lateral. That's enough. Hold.
Man, again, so much stronger than Star Trek really is. I mean, this is what the Star Trek Phase 2 really wanted to be, just a little bit darker one. Man, if Brian Blessed was Maya's dad from Space 1999, it must be from Pamela Salem. It all makes sense now, right? It all makes sense. But yeah, let me see if I can get. There's a really good little piece of acting here from Paul Darrow when he's maneuvering the ship in.
You're too close. Pull away, Avon.
No time. She's coming round.
Yeah, I tell you, there's no time. She's coming around. It's not often she comes around.
Gan, when the tail is on the laser projection, I'll go straight in.
Again, this thing is sold on the strength of its performances, which are all brilliant.
Now!
And I like the new effects. I think it future-proofs the show, which is great. Fine, so they make it out and they continue on their mission, which the mission is really just kind of fluff, right? You don't really know I don't remember what it is. I don't really care. But they find Callie. That's what it is. They meet Callie. So they turn up. Yeah, they go to the planet and they. I remember this from when I first saw it when Villa first touches this and they're like warm, like flesh.
Did it sting you?
It's warm, clammy, bit like flesh.
Right, I remember that so clearly. Again, because it's a brilliant piece of writing, right? It's just a brilliant piece of writing. With brilliant writing, brilliant performances. Production values, much better now. Although you didn't really notice them at the time. So the people have broken out the suspended animation. Or they're about to, and obviously they're bad guys. I think they're aliens, right? But they'll very obviously go to be bad guys. And they attack Jenna, and she just makes it out with her life. And Gan can't do anything because he's got that limiter thing. It makes him not be able to, attack. Or kill people. And again, that's really a interesting way of dealing with what personal rights are compared to community need, right? And it's obviously a sign this is a kind of fascist society that you have no personal rights. So Callie turns up and is telepathic, and so they join each other on their mission. I guess it's to blow up a Federation thing, and it's which is always some kind of like power station in Clacton, right? But that seems to be what makes all the Federation. So this is the A plot though, when they're being stalked on the Liberator by these I think aliens. Right, it's actually you get some good stuff with Jenna there, right? And she gets to look. It's always a power substation, right? It's like it's always that. That's the place they're always blowing up. So by the way, I love this. Must be a nuclear reactor because look at this door. Look how crazy it is.
Hey,
Good, Villa. Very good.
It was almost nothing.
It must be a nuclear reactor. Right? That door's cray. Federation troops, which I love the design. So yeah, this guy breaks out, and Gan overcomes his limiter somehow. Oh no, it was nearly done, but then Jenna gets the drop, and they make it to back to the Liberator, and I think they ditch the capsule, and of course. The Federation facility blows up, and Callie joins them. And that's it. Yeah, let's have a look at the explosion. So again, I think you get both plots really kind of neat. I mean, look, Terry Nation, he knows what he's doing, right? Doesn't he? Tight quite neatly here. And we had a final thing with Avon and Blake, which, it's 4 episodes is becoming a thing.
As a member of the crew.
Whoa, what do you say to that, Zen?
Please state course and speed.
Very diplomatic. Set a course for Kentaro. Speed standard by 2.
Confirmed.
Bam, 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 bam. And again, it's in its nascent, state, right? That is just growing, and boy, is it great, right? It's really, really fantastic. Could also be a nuclear bunker from the look of it, or maybe a bank vault. No, I don't think a bank vault. Bank vaults will be swankier, right? But again, it's really in its nascent state. You can kind of see there was no. If there was a season plan, it was a very rough one, and it's more like they're making up as they go along with each episode. But when you have a talent like Terry Nation doing it, it works, right? It not only works, it works, and it's like it lasts forever. It's indelible. So we're still watching it 45 years later. I mean, I think that's And this was just kind of like his jobbing script, and I just like. Why writers today are forced to sit and watch this great writing, right? Watch Callan, right, with Edward Woodward. There's so much great writing from the 60s, which has just been complete loss. And you need people who understand story and story structure and writing and what the mechanics of writing are to be able to write, right? Which we don't have nowadays. We have the story structures are now more often than not the same as gaming stories, right? Which are basically meant to tread water while you go from A to B and create silly side quests and things like that. This has 2 stories with the beginning, middle, and end interwoven well, and you just don't see that nowadays. You can't do good writing. Without in modern writers' ideas, without redefining the lore. No, just tell a good story, right? Just tell a good story, and that should be the bottom line. Without commenting on how bad Donald Trump is or whatever, or how bad Brexit is, or how great just the oil, whatever stupidity, how women can have how men can have babies and periods, right? Whatever your idiocy is. No, just tell a good freaking story, which these do, right? So, strong recommend, ladies. Strong recommend. What are the extras on this too? Do I have the little booklet, or did I put it away? I don't have the little booklet. Man, that's annoying. That is annoying. Do I have it anywhere? Do I have it in a magazine? Let's have a quick look at. I don't even know what it should be. It'll be from SFX, I think. Look. We have a quick look. Pocket mags. If I can see what else is on that disc, I'll review that as well. Hang on. Sadly it's the one with the Wicked cover. Oh, God. I don't understand who wants to see Wicked. It just doesn't seem to be your average sci-fi geek's bag, man. Yeah, 1 second. Come back here. Man, Dune was awful. Dune Prophecy, really, really bad. Silo, really, really good. Oh, here we are. Do we have a list of what's on the disc here? There you go. thinking about it. All right, disc 2. Character introductions, they're just a bit weird and pointless. There's not the same depth of content as there is on the Doctor Who disc, even though it's Sally Gannett in conversation. I forgot that was on. Fascinating. Again, these in conversations with Matthew Sweet are worth the price of entry alone. And she has a real, and like now she's had a full life, right? And she knows much more what's going on. What's the, she's not like 23 and clueless. But so it's much more interesting, I think, looking back over her career. Again, those conversations with Matthew Sweet are really genuinely excellent. And whenever I see one of these interviews, I always end up having more interest and respect for the people being interviewed. Deliverance 98, the convention with Sally Convet, David Jackson, Gareth Thomas, Peter Tottenham. That's kind of stuff I put on in the background. Like, I don't really pay that much attention to it, but I like that it's there. Right? Yeah. It's kind of fun and funny stuff, right? So, again, look, this box set, such a recommend, right? Such an intense recommend. I forgot they had the Sally Kinvet one on there. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.